Hi, I'm Faraz Khan from MyTrack Recruitment, and welcome to Season 3 of the Low Code podcast. Low code is the future of software development, but what is low code without its developers? So this season, I will be speaking to all levels of developers across the globe who have taken the career choice of working with low code platforms. With this podcast, our aim is to help grow the low code developer community by inspiring others to follow the same path as our guests. There is a severe shortage of resources in this area, and we are looking to help bridge that gap by raising interest and awareness amongst developers to look at this exciting technology. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Code podcast. Today my guest is OutSystems Developer Joa Pereira from Portugal, but living in the UK for the last few years. Hey Joa, how are you?
I'm good, Pereira, and you? How are you doing?
Good, thank you. I'm doing great. It's good to I know we've been talking about this for a while, so it's good to finally have you on as a guest.
Yeah, it's good to have some slot finally because
you
are very busy, man, like always.
No, I appreciate you taking the time as well to speak.
Yeah, it's a good time to be with you. I think I'm in a phase that got plans for 2023, and this year was pretty good personally. So I think we'll have a very good, nice conversation.
Yeah, great. So we like to obviously start with, tell us a bit about yourself, a bit about your background and get started from there.
Yeah, for sure. So I was born in Portugal. So I got a background on computer science, and I knew OutSystems when I did my final project in university. So I was working with a company called Do It Lean, and they told me that they needed some algorithms to check some expenses and invoices. So I did the algorithms in Python because I didn't know OutSystems at all. And then they present me, oh, you can use this like the screens and create your database, because I used to create a database, go to Oracle or SQL Server, create table, and then the attributes, and then they show me OutSystems, and I was, whoa.
Yeah.
There was a pretty good reaction in the beginning. But to be honest, my first experience was just coding in Python like the old ways. Build them in REST APIs and then use just OutSystems to consume those APIs. So, but was a very good experience, and they opened my doors to start my career as an OutSystems developer.
And before kind of working with OutSystems, had you heard of it before?
No,
nothing at all?
Only on that moment I knew what was OutSystems platform and what it does. Then after I know what the OutSystems is, I found that some university colleagues started to work with OutSystems as well. But at that moment, I was completely unaware that OutSystems exists and what was low code, and that even a platform is possible to do, because as you know, in university, you need to plan everything from scratch and coding lines and creating the database from scratch. So it was a really opener in terms of, wow, this is possible.
Yeah. And when you were exposed to it, even though obviously you had a good first reaction and you thought, wow, this is great, did you do some research, like, should I pursue a career in traditional, or did you just think, okay, no, I like this is what I'm going to do?
No, to be honest, was like, I think, because as you know, I really look to OutSystems not only as a low code platform, because I know that could be extended to C# at that time. And I saw that I was able to introduce like a normal technology like Python algorithms inside the platform. So for me, it was a really smooth transition that, this is going to help me achieve the other stuff that usually takes more time. And if I need to extend, I will. So it was a really pretty good reaction. And I think OutSystems bound very well at the first sight.
And you had obviously you knew other people who kind of went into OutSystems. Did you ever at any point reach out to anyone to kind of ask them how they were going with it?
to be honest, I only found out when I established my career as I decided to go as a systems developer, because at that moment I stayed at Duitlin at the time. They hired me to be systems developer. So only after that process I found out that some of my old colleagues also work with OutSystems. So I reached them like years later. Because even one of them is working in OutSystems headquarters in Boston, and he lives in Boston.
Wow. Okay.
So it was a really good way to find out that connection.
And how did you find, obviously it was your first job in your kind of career. How was that kind of experience of, entering kind of, the workforce and, working in a kind of technology that, even though it's old, it's new, if you get what I mean.
But like I said, because I did that final project, and in this way I need to thank Duitlin, because they start like not interview me, but like pushing me, like with the platform while I was doing that project, because I needed to create database there and screens there, and we use Forge components there. So I think that was like a kind of internship. Like not by the official name, but was an internship that give me that base tools, and then the last decision to go for it. And like,
or maybe
like
today if you didn't join Do It Lean, maybe today you'd be a Python developer.
Probably. I will don't know. We never know that. So I think everything happens for a reason.
Of course.
That was. So I'm very proud to say that I'm a OutSystems native developer from my career.
Yes, that's amazing. It's I think we find, obviously, for me, when I speak to people, it's more and more, obviously, I'm coming across more and more people who have only done OutSystems, for their whole career, compared to, when I obviously speak to people who are kind of older, been around the block a bit more, it's kind of two different styles, so it's, and I see people who obviously, there's people who've come from something else, and they would never, once they've joined OutSystems, they would never go back to where they came from. And there's people like you who just love it.
Two types of persons that really like OutSystems at first, but then you still got the defensive ones that control everything. But that is the funny part, because if I think I started with OutSystems in 2016 already, so
yes,
it's been a long journey.
It's
so
been
far.
A while,
From 9, I started to work with 9.
Wow.
Until now, the 11 and Neo in the in the future. So for me, it was a long journey. And the thing I always say to people with OutSystems is, you can still apply your skills, but at the same time, OutSystems is evolving. It's not keeping the same platform from day one, and that is what is great with OutSystems.
They're forever making updates, isn't it, to kind of make the developer experience as best as possible.
Starting for a service studio, it's a long way from platform 9 now with 11 that now already work with Mac and dark teams that and in that time was in 2016 was impossible to possible. The thing is, the story that I most recorded is the mobile applications, because I started to do it with 10, but with that first version that you needed like a Mac laptop to generate your mobile app. Was not even native in the service studio that now is possible, but at the time you needed to generate the app in the Apple Store. You needed a Mac laptop to do it. So
it's great how things have evolved, and kind of they've kept, the good thing with OutSystems is they've kept all the developers kind of engaged, and kind of we don't really, I don't speak to people who say, I've done OutSystems and find me a job doing something else. It's very, I've not come across it, so they're obviously doing the right things to make sure people who have pursued a career in low code and OutSystems continue to enjoy working with the platform and have the best experience.
And the thing is, I think it's your own mentality, because for me, for example, I work with OutSystems, but I'm learning. If I want to learn AWS, it's beneficial. For example, nowadays I'm working with Azure, so I need to
Yes.
know a little bit of Azure to integrate that with the platform. So it's a learning that we not keep only with the OutSystems.
Yeah, yeah,
We can evolve to Azure, to AWS,
yeah,
to other technologies
yeah,
that will increase your knowledge, and depends only the mentality of the developer if he
yeah,
wants to keep growing or not. It's
yeah,
not a
yeah, sure.
platform that
Yeah,
defines
of course. Yeah, of
defines you.
course. You have to be determined, isn't it?
Yes, you need
Yeah.
to have the guts to keep learning and keep
Yes.
evolving to not be like stable. And
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is the good thing that we can do without systems as well, because they are also always keep growing.
Mm.
And of course, as you know, the community is pretty good.
Yes. Yes.
And I
Yes.
think from the past year, I as you know, I was very incentive in the community
Yes.
already, being in some next steps. The last two live events, I was there in
Mm.
US. So
That was
but
while you would do it lean, right? You did.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in 2018
Yeah.
in Boston,
Mhm.
representing Do It Lean, and then in 2019 in Denver, that I was as a speaker talking
Oh,
about the
nice.
mobile. That is
Amazing. And
the
you're one of the people who managed to make a move prior to Brexit and
yeah, that's
get into the UK.
prior to Brexit and prior
Yeah.
to COVID. In
Yes,
like
yes,
I
yes.
arrived in last days of January, and then
Yes,
COVID hit it. So yeah,
yes,
that was
yes.
a journey that was pretty tough
Yeah,
to reconcile, like arriving in a new country
yes,
and then
yeah,
everything's closed down and the
yeah,
world is shut down. So it
yeah.
was intense adventuring
I
in
could imagine that was quite a stressful situation.
yeah. And I even then I got lucky because I was able to return to Portugal
Yes.
from March to June that year. So
Mm,
I still believe that I was lucky, but
yeah.
that stress before
Mm,
was, well,
yeah,
once
I could
again,
imagine.
the mental needs to
Yeah,
be on top
yeah, yeah,
to
yeah, yeah. I
to
think,
go on.
kind of relocating somewhere and then, obviously not being able to meet people and kind
Yeah,
of grow your network as soon as you've arrived is quite difficult,
yeah,
for
and
anybody.
for me it was the first time that I was living alone
Yeah,
without my family and
yeah,
friends. So
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
everything adapt real quick.
Change, yeah, yeah, yeah. But you managed, you're still here. You're
Yeah, I'm
still
still
here.
here. I'm liking for now. So,
Yeah, yeah,
and the good thing with being a developer nowadays is that we can work for
yeah,
every country
yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
you want to.
Yeah, of course. And you must obviously like the UK weather since you're still sticking around.
Yeah, it's getting better, to be
It
honest.
is,
So
yeah,
now
yeah,
now the
yeah,
summers
yeah.
are
It's
more
not like
likely.
Portugal, but
Yeah,
it's better than what it used to be.
yeah.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
the winter, yeah, it's tough, but winter is being tough for every
Yeah,
country. So yeah,
that's true. That's true.
and I can
So
go to Portugal as holidays
yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
as well. So
The good thing is you've got the freedom to travel between both
yeah,
countries because you obviously came before Brexit. So, you've got the kind of freedom to go wherever. And obviously with COVID happening, the remote working has definitely helped developers to kind of, people have dreams to, you wanted to try something and, you've at least, you've ticked that off that you've worked abroad.
yeah, like we in our first conversations, because
Yes.
to be honest, I really like working in Portugal
Yeah.
with Lean, and but
Yeah.
basically I needed to work abroad was one of my
Yeah.
objectives of my career, so I
Yeah.
needed to tick it, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
came to UK.
Yeah. I think we were talking for a long time before you decided, I think.
Yeah,
But no,
because
it
like
was
I said,
definitely
I
good.
was really comfortable,
Yeah.
and I like, again, my skills was growing every year and I
Mm,
was evolving, but I needed more challenge to be out of my comfort zone, and basically the objective. And now that I know the companies and market in the UK,
mm,
I know that they are still evolving in working
yeah.
without systems. So
Yeah.
my idea was always bring that way of working to here, because
Mm.
they to keep evolving and
Yeah, of course.
low
Yeah.
code. And
Yeah.
the last 2 years, to be honest, companies are more aware. But when
Mm.
I came in 2020, was like a big difference
Yes, yes, yeah.
from what
Even
what.
we've noticed, obviously, like, compared to when I spoke to you, compared to now, there's a lot more customers. to a lot more developers, like a lot more kind of junior people in the UK are coming through, learning OutSystems. And lastly, obviously, there's a lot of companies kind of looking to hire people compared to when you first came, there wasn't that many kind of
one or
looking.
two
Yeah,
max.
one or two max. Not kind of now. It's a very competitive market. Everyone's scrambling to find people.
Yeah, and to be honest, I saw that by the community because, as you know, since November last year, I became a user group organizer of London.
Yes.
And I'm seeing by the events that we are keep growing, and after COVID, we are returning the events. Talk about that in the 17th of November. We are getting our next step party in London. That is very important to London community to be aware of it. And I'm seeing growing every event. So
how did you, talking about obviously community and, that's what I was going to mention, you running the user group. How did that kind of come about? Did you suggest that to OutSystems, or was that something that was suggested to you or through the network?
Basically, to be honest, is a thing that I was really interested in.
Yeah.
And then, as you know, I know Carlos Lester, that is one of the other organizers. And that once again, the flow, I talked with Katerina to be an organizer, and then in the group they decided that I was a good match. So things flow again to that happen. And I think with my current experience and knowing the Portuguese market and the UK market, and know very well the community, I think it's a plus that, and I think they are happy with my inputs, and I'm trying to keep the community growing in London.
And the next one's in November, right?
Yeah, 17th of November, the next step party. It's already live, so
that's
people
good.
just go to the user group's website and see the London, because London is live. Because one thing that I feel is with the pandemic, the London user group kind of stopped a little bit. And with the entry of the new organizers that push again, and then especially after COVID restrictions are off, we
of course, try and get restarted.
And basically our strategy was not go only to the face-to-face events, was like creating like between 2-3 months even online events, just to people be aware that we are back and we are becoming stronger. And I think next year is our objective is to grow even more.
I think the good thing with keeping the online is because obviously not everyone is in London, so there's a lot of OutSystems people all across the UK, which London is not always easy to come to. But maybe in the future you can do an event halfway up north, Manchester.
Yeah, to be honest, it's in our thinking, but let's see, because first of all, because it's easier to establish them in London.
Yeah, of course.
But then the objective, of course, is like in Portugal, that they do different cities. Let's see. If we got that growth that I'm thinking, I'm sure that it will be coming to happen really quick.
Yeah, great. That's good that that's your kind of sense of giving back as well, and kind of, helping others within the community.
Yeah, because I think was, like I said, I like to learn quickly, but I also needed to give up some the community. I think the user group was the right fit to me to give back to the community.
Yeah.
Especially here in London, because I know that we got potential to be a very strong group in the future.
Yeah, that's great. And going back to OutSystems and kind of you've been using it since you mentioned earlier, version 9 and, where version 11 Neo is obviously, close by and, in the future. From then till now, what's some of the kind of things you've thought, being someone who kind of you've only ever used OutSystems, and you touched on this earlier, on the things that they've released, new releases, kind of during your time using OutSystems, what is some of them that you've thought, wow, this is really going to take the platform to the next level?
I think the constant evolution of it, especially now with that integration manager, for example, that you can now easily MongoDB, external database. So these kind of little things that in the beginning doesn't exist, that you needed to create your extension to do some integration by yourself. So they think really that OutSystems is it's a good ecosystem, but they also know that we got other technologies aware. So I'm seeing that evolution, especially now with the reactive apps and not the traditional, was already a big step as well. So basically that constant evolution and more integrations be possible and more easy to do. That is the keyword, more easy to do.
Yeah.
And even if you need to do something completely new, you have freedom to do it, and some way it's possible.
Yeah.
And especially now with some partnerships as with AWS, with UiPath, I'm really keen to know about that UiPath. Because UiPath is a big technology as well. So
yes. And I'm guessing obviously in a couple of weeks there'll be a lot more reveal that next step, which will, obviously kind of get more people excited for the future, definitely.
And to be honest, I think people will like Neo.
To
be honest, I already have a sneak peek.
You know what's going on. You've got the inside information.
To that product program that is open to everyone that can access, and they are looking always for people, and I already have a sneak peek from you that is pretty good. So
I'm sure you're looking forward to next step going back to face.
Yes,
I could imagine.
And I hope next year will be the year, because as you know, this
I think so. I think next year will definitely be the year.
Yeah. So
I think too much of online. I think everyone's tired of online now.
Yeah, and is once again is why the user groups are so important, and why the OutSystems got this idea to have these next step parties that are supported by OutSystems, that are helping the user groups locally if they want to organize the next step party to try to do that networking part that is not going to be possible this year.
Yeah, I think it also helps when, like, trying to convince new customers and new developers who are new to it. I think virtual events are great. Nothing against them. I think they're good. But I think when you go to a face-to-face event, the part that they're missing out is talking to people like you, just walking around the room, talking to people like you, where obviously on a virtual event, they just watch the presenter and that's about it. There's no kind of talking with other developers or other people who kind of have joined OutSystems and working with OutSystems.
Yeah, and I can give you an example of that, because right now I got to apprentice that I'm mentoring in CGI, and I show them the events, and they are in the last one that was face to face. They went and they really liked the experience, and they are keen to know more and to be more present. So and that mentoring face to face is totally different than online one. That I think is going to be the next big boost to OutSystems in UK is going to be again face to face meetings.
Maybe they can do a next step in the UK one day rather than Netherlands.
Yeah, I hope so.
Maybe they should change the location every year.
Yeah, but Netherlands is very strong with us since the beginning, so they respect that.
Of course.
Let's see. We never know, because in US every time it's changing the city, so why not in Europe? They start to do the same. So
of course. And in your kind of 6 years now of using OutSystems, have you ever kind of had kind of discussions with people who are from traditional, who kind of we call them obviously the low code haters, kind of have you ever had any debates with anyone about OutSystems versus traditional and why they don't believe in low code and things like that?
Yeah, because I did some recruitment events in university in the past. So especially young guys that are in university that don't know OutSystems, then we start to spoke about them, and no, I want to keep the coding. So of course we found, and even in some companies that they don't know OutSystems and they are used to work in a certain way, only after they see what they can achieve, they will be wow. But they are resistant because it's their expertise, is their area, and so they need to learn from almost from scratch. And once again, sometimes people just don't want to go back to that stage.
Have you ever had kind of I'm not sure if you've had this or not, but like sometimes we have people who are kind of in their career looking to kind of maybe potentially move into OutSystems, or someone in your network who kind of asked you for advice or support? Other than obviously you've got the two kind of apprentice people. Outside of that, have you had any other people you've had to kind of guide and assist?
Yeah. For example, my best friend
Mhm.
is already got experience in other technologies,
Yeah,
but because she wants to learn something new, I show them that initiative that is the Woman in Tech
yeah,
that got that courses and
yes,
the free certification, and she did all the steps, and we discussed about OutSystems, and
yeah,
she's really keen also to learn that. So, and after she did the courses, she said, "Whoa, in PHP or JavaScript, I took like the double or triple of the time, and this is so simple." And
yeah,
so yeah, I got some situations that people come to advise me with
yeah,
if I like OutSystems, why I like it.
yeah.
So
So is she now looking to pursue a career in OutSystems?
not yet.
Yeah,
For now, it's just keep learning, but
yeah, yeah.
uh, it's like one more skill, and I think
Yeah,
she
of course. Yeah, it doesn't hurt
to learn
learn.
something
Yeah,
new.
exactly. Yeah, any knowledge is good knowledge.
So yeah, I think she for now is not pursuing, but at least she's learning and knowing
Mm,
OutSystems
mm,
well now.
yeah. And being someone, I like to ask this question to people who have obviously relocated from their home country. Being someone who's done that, is that something you would, especially obviously, in Portugal is very uncommon, for especially to come to the UK, I think. I think a lot of people prefer to stay in Portugal. Is that something you would kind of recommend to people for their career perspective?
I think if people really want to come out of their comfort zone and they really pursue to go abroad, they should do it, because
Mm.
for my experience is I think that I'm liking it, I'm staying, but and sometimes you can go and go back. It's
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
never know because of
yeah,
family, friends,
yeah,
because of you don't adapt to the country.
mm.
So, but my advice is if people really want to do that, just do it. And
Yeah.
if it goes wrong, you always can
You can
come
always go
back.
back home. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And just the final question is just kind of, obviously 6 years and I probably know the answer. But you've been 6 years out systems, the last two in the UK, you're kind of showing a big involvement in the community with the user groups and things like that. What's your kind of future aspirations and goals you may have for yourself in the next, let's say, 2 years?
That is always a difficult question, but
Yeah,
one thing that I know for sure, I really want to continue developing.
yeah,
I will, for example, even if I change a job in the next year or in the next 2 years,
mm.
I always I want to keep
You
programming,
want to remain a
developing,
developer,
because
yes.
it's my passion, and I'm not the kind of guy that likes to be in meetings all days. No, I need even to, because I'm mentoring, I need to know what is new
Mm.
to teach them and to
Yeah, of
show them
course, yeah.
the right way. So developing is a thing that I will not go
Mm.
to zero for sure
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
next 2 years. And
yeah,
the like I said, and even here the roles, like I'm a senior right now, but
yeah,
here a senior is more like a tech lead job as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So it's still got that different definitions
You're
across
exposed to a
Europe.
few things, yeah.
Yeah, so I see myself as a tech lead and a mentoring guy, but
Mm.
still with that soul with developing. That is my love, and
Yeah,
I will continue developing for sure in the
for
next
sure,
few
yeah,
years.
yeah. And is that something you see, on the mentoring side, is that something you see you want to do more of in the future?
To be honest, I really like to do it. So
Yeah.
I see continue to like creating teams
Mm.
from scratch, because that I continue developing. And one thing that I really like to mentoring is with the new guys that don't know about systems,
Mm.
they have new ideas and new perspectives and
Yeah,
new ways to do things. And so I think it's not you teach something to someone, but is they also teaching you something sometimes,
yeah,
because
sure.
they got fresh ideas that because
Yes.
we developed in my case, for the last 6 years, I developed with OutSystems, and of course, places I know, but sometimes you need new inputs, fresh ideas, new things, new different things to do stuff. And that mentoring part is to give, but also to receive. Is not only to give to the new guys.
Yeah. That's great. And obviously, I think in that process, everyone's obviously, if they're coming as a fresh graduate or whatever, they'd be up to date with other technologies as well, which is something that you may not be aware of.
Yeah.
So it's obviously sharing knowledge between each other.
And the thing is like the sharing knowledge part. And even in the community, with the events, you see different people with different business, different use cases in their companies, in their projects. And I really like that vision to know what they are experiencing. Even business guys. One thing that I'm trying to do in the user groups is like initiative that is on that we create specifically to the on the London user group, is bring business guys to tell us their story with OutSystems. Why they really like OutSystems, why they don't like, what was the thing that make us in the beginning don't like it, but now they like it. So I really want to see them, because as you know, it's not the developer that decide in the end.
Of course.
The business guys, is the project managers,
yes.
the directors, so they got the final decision. So
Yeah.
understanding their view and their mentality is also very important.
Yeah. It gives you a better understanding of what's going through their mind.
Yeah, because I know it's not only the financial, but their mind also. Especially, I think in UK they are really going now more to agile, but they are still got that waterfall mentality.
Yeah.
That it's normal because they are used to work with Microsoft and other type of technologies that work like that.
Yeah, of course. Okay, well, that was it was great to talk to you, Joe. I think it's good to kind of hear your journey. You know, obviously I've known you for just over 2 years now, so we've been talking for a while. So it's been good to see you kind of grow, and we've kept in touch. And I'll definitely attend one of your groups in the new year once my injury is finished. But no, it's been great to kind of follow your journey so far, and obviously to hear about your personal your baby as well. You know, it's been great to hear as well.
It's a new experience that
Yes.
us our perspective, but I think in a way just we need to organize better our time to learn and to grow. But it's also good. Once again, it's part of evolution.
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's the next phase of your life as well.
Yeah, and I think it's a normal process of growing up.
Yes,
So
exactly.
not only reconcile the family and the work. It's like OutSystems, always keep evolving, and that is the way.
Moving very fast. I'll tell you that for now. Moving very fast.
So that is the way to do it. And like I said, I want to keep my developing skills up to date. And like you said, I think I'm still pursuing more certifications, and always OutSystems are really good to launch new ones. And also, who knows, someday be a champion on MVP. We never know.
I think, you know, if you keep going in the way you're going, definitely it's on the cards, I think. And I think, you know, let's I think if once kind of that thing happens, then I think, you know, what I tried to say to everyone, like, you know, things evolve all the time, you know, and you know, we're talking now, but it'd be good to talk again in the future to see how things have evolved, where you are, what are you doing, you know, what things have increased, you know, in your kind of, you know, professional career. You know, my goal is obviously, hopefully in the future, face-to-face podcast, you know. That's you know, that would be
very nice.
Maybe if there's a next step, I'll just bring a mic with me and just set up a booth and just talk to everyone.
Exactly. And I think that is the kind of ideas that the usually in the days is going to be very possible.
Yes.
Because I imagine that in the next step, like your booth with your company, even with a little microphone, just having like flash talks with 15
that will do the
minutes
job.
with guys that are in the event. So that would be pretty nice.
Definitely. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Well, it was really nice to talk to you, Jao. Let's definitely keep in touch, and it'll be good to speak to you again in the future.
Yeah, we'll show. We are going to talk about me developing in you in the future. Let's see it.
Of course.
Thanks for us for
Thanks,
the
Joa.
talk as always.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the latest episode of the Low Code Podcast, hosted by iTrack Recruitment, global leader in low code recruitment. Be sure to subscribe and see you next time.